What's up, guys? Today was the first day of PGA Tour Latino America qualifying school in Florida. I shot 74, which is +2, and I'm in 35th place out of 120 guys overnight. This is a 4-day tournament, and the top 40 and ties will get a PGA Tour Latino America card for next year, but the top 12 are going to get guaranteed starts, and everybody else up until 40 gets conditional status, so they may or may not get starts. So either way, I'm in a solid position. I was going to break down today's round a little bit for you guys and try to make this really quick, like 5 minutes or less. I got to get to the gym, get some rest, and tee off again tomorrow pretty soon. It's been a long day. I'm sure you can tell on my face, but it's good. I'm super focused right now and tapped in, so it's a good fatigue. This golf course is incredibly challenging and tight. One, it's all Bermuda grass. As a California kid, that's a pretty tough thing to adjust to. I don't really play on Bermuda ever, and it's really grainy. Striking iron shots just kind of rips up the turf. There's no, clean, moist divot like if I was playing at Torrey Pines or anywhere else in California. Two, chipping is really sticky. A lot of people flub chips. My playing partners flubbed like 6 chips today. I flubbed 1. It just happens. It makes you look like a total amateur, but that's just the way the grass is. Chances are you're gonna mess up some chips throughout the course of the tournament. The greens have grain to them, which is challenging to read. I don't normally have to read grain into my putts back home, but it definitely affects the way the ball goes here. These greens are super fast. I would say they're about a 13 on the stimp, and the pins were like Sunday pins today. Seriously, so many pins. Almost all of them were within 4 or 5 paces of the edge in really sloping positions. I would say today was about the best I've ever controlled my golf ball, and I shot 2 over. And normally I would be like pretty upset about that. So that just puts into perspective, and the fact that there's only 12 guys under par in this entire field, so 10% of the field right now. It says something about how difficult this course is playing. It's also very tight. It's I hit 3-wood 9 times, 5-wood once, and 4 drivers out of 14 tee shots. And there's really no other choice. There's no option to overpower this golf course and carry corners or anything like that. You just have to hit less club, get it in play, and so it makes it actually a pretty long golf course. I'm hitting from 160 to 170 or 80 all the time from fairways on holes that might only be 400 yards. So without getting too much into the specifics of stuff like that, my point is just that it's a challenge. And today I was very in control of my golf ball. I didn't lose any balls in hazards or OB, and it's on every single hole. So that in and of itself was a win. I was 3 over on the front with 3 bogeys, and then on the back I had 2 birdies, and then I finally bogeyed my last hole, but it is the number 1 handicap hole, so if there was one that you could kind of excuse, it might be that one. But it was a bit of a bummer to finish with a bogey. If I had finished with a birdie, I could have shot even and been in 12th place. But either way, every single stroke counts pretty dramatically right now, and it's separating. There's almost like 20 guys tied at even and tied at 1 over and tied at 2 over. So a lot can happen in these next couple days. I just broke everything down with my parents on the phone, and mostly what I'm talking about is like, where my attitude is at and the preparation that I put in going into this. I feel like although there really hasn't been any outward signs to you guys or the rest of the golfing community, I feel like I'm about to break through to playing a much higher level of golf. I feel like the way I played this golf course today, and I'm going to continue playing this week, is definitely beyond, just simple mini tour, local golf level type stuff. And that's crazy because I haven't really even won at that level, but I feel like I'm, built to play golf from a more hyper-focused place. I think that's why I do better sometimes on these bigger stages. This event, for instance, we've got a yardage book. We've got and there's notes on every shot. There's never a shot where it's like, oh, just bomb a driver down the middle of the fairway, and even if you miss it, we'll go find it and hit a wedge. Like there's none of that. Every single tee shot is calculated. Both the line and the curvature and the distance is important. There's trees overhanging off of the tee boxes that are going to smack down errant shots, and the positioning of where you put the ball on the green is incredibly important. and I'm thriving in that environment. Today's round was unbelievably slow, and we were not behind the guys in front of us at all. It's because everyone is grinding. This golf course truly demands your utmost attention on every shot. If you blast one iron shot 10 yards long and it's stacked above the pin and it's in the Bermuda rough, you could easily make double. You could flub it from there, or if you hit a good chip, it's probably running off the front and you're probably chipping again, and if you don't get that up and down, you're making double. Like, the amount of effort you have to put in to just keep the golf ball in play and where you want it is a lot right now. And that's kind of always the way I've wanted to approach golf, and my whole holistic mentality with the sleep and taking care of my nutrition and really working out a lot. Like, I think that those things benefit me when the golf starts to become more demanding like this, rather than just easy courses, wide open layouts, and guys get to 20 under no problem for 3 or 4 days. Like, I've never done as well with that as I have in more of this grinder kind of PGA Tour style event. So that's encouraging to see. It makes me feel like the hard work and effort's paying off. I struck the ball well today. I putted well today. And I've been putting in, it's rewarding because I've been putting in so much work lately, even up until yesterday, making adjustments to my clubs, right? I just got new shafts in my irons. I have a new 3-wood and 5-wood. I have a brand new putter. And these things all have happened within the last week, right? There were changes I was making up until the day that I left, even though I started making these changes maybe a month ago. I've been bending lie angles, just, every day going back and forth between hitting balls on a flight scope and inside, and having Chad at Forward Golf watch me, and then taking that new setup of either my current club or changing the club, taking it outside and trying to test on my own, both on the range and while playing golf, because that's where it changes the most, is on the actual golf course playing. That's when tendencies come out that you don't see when I'm hitting inside or just hitting on a mat over and over and over again. But that's what really matters, and that's what makes this whole club fitting process so hard. And that's why it's so rewarding if you get it right, and why I've had such a hard time committing to the setup in my bag for the last month and a half, is just trying to get it right. And as soon as I came out here to Florida, the conditions changed big time, right? The humidity and air density really does affect your golf ball. I've noticed that the wind is significantly heavier here, and I just put all this work into making my ball launch higher and spin more. That's why I changed shafts, and that's why I changed 3-wood and 5-wood, and I've been working on that with my driver, adding some lead tape to the toe and changing different settings on the driver to have it launch at different angles and things like that. That's all been in an attempt to have me hit the ball higher with more spin, which is going to stabilize it and make it go less far offline. But all of a sudden out here, it was like, whoa, that's not good. My golf ball is getting slapped by the wind. I'm hitting good shots, and then after it's been in the air for 5 seconds, it's falling sideways because of wind. And it's hard to feel the wind here because you're teeing off in these little tunnels that are protected by trees. But then if the ball gets way up there, by the time it comes down, it could be falling out of bounds. That happened in my practice round 4 times. And so on the fly yesterday, hitting some balls after my practice round, I took a degree of loft off my 3-wood and 5-wood. I changed the setting on my driver, and I decided to switch the ball that I play from the spinniest TaylorMade to the less spinny TaylorMade. And I think it was good changes. My ball was lower to the ground and less affected by the wind today. Granted, I had to adjust to some slightly different yardages and a different amount of spin for my chips and wedge shots. But I think, I'm paying attention to everything right now. I'm writing notes in my notebook. This is what I take with me on the course, which has notes on, keys for my irons, keys for putting, my pre-shot routine, mental cues, yardages and adjusted yardages for my clubs out here with the air density, how to hit chips from Bermuda, how I'm trying to set up my driver, at address, what I'm trying to do to make it fade, which is the shot shape I want to see. So I've got all these different cues, and everyone's always told me that it was crazy to think this much. You're trying too hard, you're overthinking, don't take so many practice swings, just hit it. And that may be well-meaning advice, but I feel like my brain is like a computer, or anyone's brain is, and it works best when you give it an operating manual or a program to run. It wants to do something, right? We have 60,000 thoughts per day. because our brain, it's trying to problem solve, and if you don't program it, it's just gonna have the same thoughts, like 90% of the same thoughts day after day after day, just keep repeating if you don't do anything about it. And also, if you don't give it something to work on, it's just gonna find whatever's in its environment. And that's where, like, setting goals and affirmations and gratitude journaling and things like that come into play, because it orients your brain to look for the positive in life, to look for the things to be grateful for, to look for the things that support your goals and might help you on your journey to get there. If you're writing these on paper every day, it's not magic. The world is going to receive your energy and throw it back at you. It'll feel like magic, like, oh man, I was just thinking about needing to find a videographer for my social media career, and then I met someone at the gym that was a videographer. How random is that? Like, no, it's not random. It's the universe hearing you, moving with intention, and putting these things were already in front of you, but you didn't see them because your brain wasn't programmed to look for those things. You were just neutral, or even worse, maybe you were pessimistic and looking for negative things. And if that's the case, you'll definitely find them. But I find that even if you're neutral, you don't really have any aim, you'll find bad shit. And the same is true for golf. Golf is just a microcosm of life, which is one of the reasons I love it so much. If you go into a round of golf just thinking like, yeah, don't try too hard, I practice a lot, I'm good at golf, like, let's just tee it up and see what happens, I find that usually doesn't work for me. And hats off to you if that works for you. To be honest, quite honest, I'm jealous. That sounds sick, but for me, I have to point my brain in a specific direction with cues for every component of the game, sort of like a how-to manual or an if-then clause, like, oh, if ball is sitting down in rough, here's how to play that shot, open the face, or whatever the case is. That's the way that I seem to play my best golf. If I have this, yes, those things are all in my brain, but when the pressure is on and sometimes the pace of your round picks up, maybe you're in a downward spiral, you made a couple bogeys in a row, or maybe you're on the clock, or maybe you're having, you're talking to your playing partners a lot and you're distracted. There's a million things that could happen out there. And I just find that it's complicated trying to do it all from memory, and I play a lot better when I have things written down and I'm pointing my brain in the direction of what I want it to do. I'm not just, oh, golf is this blank canvas, and whatever I see, I'm going to engage with. Like, oh, I see a deer over there. Like, I'm going to think about that for a second. It's like, no, motherfucker. Like, this is the next shot you're going to hit, and it's 174 yards. It's 3 yards uphill. The wind is 6 miles an hour off the right. That's going to take 4 yards off of it. We're either in the fairway or the rough, and here's the club we're going to play. I'm aiming 7 yards right. I'm expecting it to start on this line and draw, take my pre-shot routine, take my breath, see the shot, step in, go. Like, that might sound like a lot, but I guarantee on the PGA Tour, most of the guys are doing that. I think there's very few anomalies where someone is just talented at golf and just sees it. Like, yeah, there's a difference between field players and technical players. I get that, but still, there's no such thing as just like, oh yeah, look at the target and hit it and find it from there. At least not on a course setup like this. And if you play well on a course setup like that, you might just be kind of getting lucky, because like, I feel there's just so much going on, especially a tournament like this where we're all kind of fighting for our job next year, trying to have a place to play and purses to play for, and a path to earn world ranking points and get to the next level, which is the Korn Ferry Tour and then the PGA Tour. With that much on the line and the expense involved in being at an event like this and playing for the whole week, I just think you have no choice but to tap in. And so I'm really proud of how day one went. I executed to a T. Did I have mistakes? Absolutely. But I'm okay with that. Everyone's going to make mistakes, especially on a course like this. And my reaction to those mistakes is what I'm so proud of. It was flawless. Nothing flustered me today. I never started changing my game plan or trying to force shots up the fairway or changing my club selection or trying to make putts. Because if you do that for a second, I think it can get away from you. You can make a quick double by just trying to hit a drive too hard, or trying to squeeze an iron shot by a pin that you can't squeeze it by, or trying to make a 15-foot putt that's maybe downhill that is literally a defense putt. You might be thinking like, man, I just hit 3 great shots on this par 5 and I've got a 15-footer. Like, I want to make this shit. Cool, bro, but this is Q school, and if you have that mentality on that putt, you might blow it 6 feet by, and then you might miss that and walk away with a bogey, and that's what hurts you more than failure to make birdies. So I feel like I'm learning more and more and more about how to play golf at a high level. Is there room for my game to improve? Absolutely, there always will be. But I think I'm doing as much as I could possibly expect of myself to move in the right direction. And I have people around me helping me as well. And I think I'm only going to have more help as I kind of solidify my career, hopefully very soon this week. And even if not, I'll find more places to play, more ways to keep going. I'm not going to stop. Right now, my will just feels like undominable. I don't think there's any going backwards from this point. I see a path to the future I've always wanted in this game. I know it's just one round, but that's what I'm saying is like seeing that with the pressure heightened and in an environment like this that at least to me I'm perceiving as the largest stage I've ever played on and the biggest opportunity I've ever had to not only change my golf career but change my life in a quick short 4 days. You get one shot and this is it. Like, it's a lot, and to see all of that in the mix and to feel myself rising to the occasion and to feel like my best stuff is coming out now just kind of confirms to me that I have what it takes, and I think I'm going to be like a more big stage type player in the future and not just stuck on mini tours and struggling locally. I think it's because that doesn't bring it out of me as much as a place where more is demanded of you. I know when I'm truly applying myself to any goal in life and the stakes are high, I or anyone else for that matter can figure it out. You can be resourceful enough to figure out how to succeed if your back is truly against the wall. And I guess I'm starting to rant right now. I've had a zillion conversations with different people today, and I've already recapped this round multiple times. I guess I somewhat went away from the direction I wanted to in this video. But that will have to do for now, because to be quite honest, I was just going to make this video to myself and kind of dive into what went well and what I might want to change for tomorrow, and just kind of have this as like a video archive to look at in the future. So I'm really trying to stay off of social media too much this week so that I can stay focused and conserve energy. Clearly, you can see I'm pouring 1,000,000% into golf and trying to make an outcome happen that I desire. So there's not a lot extra. And there's a few other things I've been struggling. My knee has been hurting me for a couple days, and we're walking all 5 days this week. And there's just some other things that have been draining me. So I don't have a lot extra for this, but I want to do my best to keep you guys updated, because all of the support and encouragement you guys throw my way truly, truly does help. And it makes me feel like this is way bigger than me. And regardless of the outcomes from my life and my golf, there is still benefit for other people just by simply sharing what I'm doing and sharing the journey. I really do believe that's true. Whether you made it to this point in the video or not, it's all good. I hope that there was at least something somewhere in my posts that hits with you guys. So for anyone who's still here, drop a heart in the comment or a fist pound or a thumbs up or something so that I know you made it this far, and I will probably Venmo you like $5 because that's amazing that you just listen to me rant. Unless you're my mom or dad, then you have to, because we're tied at the hip for life. But if you're not my mom or dad and you made it this far in the video, holy shit, I love you. And even if you didn't, I love you guys too. I'm going to go get them tomorrow at 12 o'clock in the second round of PGA Tour Latino America qualifying school. Can't wait to update you guys after that one. Peace!